We're back in the cornfield today, looking at leaf level insights and making data-driven solutions from all the information given to us by Taranis Drone Scouting. Now, if you haven't seen episodes 1, 2, and 3, please do me a favor, go back and watch those. They're going to give you a lot of context. Don't worry, I'll still be here. Well, maybe not in this exact spot, but I'll still be around. All right, oil's changed, air filter's changed. Tires are rotated. I wonder if they're back. Oh, hey, you guys are back. Awesome. Hey, I'm Tyler Tobald. Welcome back to J-Tech Farms. This episode is going to be a fair bit different than the first three. If you've watched the first three, which I sincerely hope you have, I've just, been out here in the field looking at different Taranis data, showing pictures, walking around with my CVA guy Trevor, and comparing what we're seeing on the scouting data with what we're seeing in the field. Having done that 3 times now, you guys pretty much get the picture of what we're seeing on the app translates to what we're seeing in the field. Today's episode is going to be one of comparisons. We're going to be looking at Flight 4 and Flight 5, and we are going to be comparing what happened between those two. And we're going to be doing it from the perspective of what I'm seeing on my computer and how I'm able to make good data-driven solutions from the comfort of my living room. And honestly, right now, I'd rather be in the living room. It's getting kind of hot out here and I'm already sweating. So it's time to get out of the field and get back into the house.
You'd think it was 120 degrees. Can't be more than 114.
Now I'm in my house, in my comfy pants, slippers. Let's hop on the computer, start doing some comparing.
I always wanted to wear hammer pants.
Stop.
Hammer time?
First things first, let's get logged into our Taranis dashboard. And here we are. Here's the 3 fields we've got going this year. Got our file hill, my soybeans at Lee's, and the west file patch. We're going to start off with the file hill first. And here is our timeline. First up, we're going to look at our diseases. On June 30th, it shows we've got quite a bit of disease pressure out here. But is it really as bad as it looks? No, it's not. We've got a lot of hulkus leaf spot out there, which basically it's just acne for corn. There's really nothing in here to worry about. Let's take a little closer look. Here we are. That's pretty obvious. And let's see, take another look. Is there anything else you need to worry about? Nope, it's just hulkus leaf spot. Now on the 19th of July, well, you'll notice a lot of that's pretty well remedied itself. We've only got one that it's seeing right there on the west side. So a disease dropped from 44 to 1%. That's pretty good. Let's take a look at the insects. And it looks like we've got a lot of insect pressure on the June 30th flight. A lot of red spots everywhere. What kind of damage do we have here? A lot of chewing damage and 1 stink bug damage. This will be interesting. Let's take a little look and see what we've got here. There's the macro view, kind of in the field where it's at. Sure enough, there's some chewing damage. If you remember in Flight 3, we saw quite a few grasshoppers out there. And those were causing pretty much all the chewing damage that we're seeing here. All right, well, I think you got the picture of the grasshopper chewing damage. Let's take a quick look at that stink bug damage, though. Where exactly is that at? There it is. That one solitary one right down here in the bottom corner. There's that striping. Yep. One spot in the field, not exactly anything to worry about as far as the stink bugs go, but since there's so much chewing damage, we ended up running an insecticide along with the herbicide, which cleared up our insect damage. So just from the 30th to the 19th, you'll see for the most part, it's all cleared up. And what looks to be a ladybug. And that's it. We've cleared up a lot of our insect damage just from those two different flights. But now let's take a look at the weeds. Yep, on the 30th, we're starting to get a fair bit of pressure. Yep, down through here, you'll see we've got a bunch of black bindweed, broadleaf, field bindweed, pigweed, some unidentified grasses. Quite a bit of pressure through here. Let's take a little closer look. You can see some of them in those last pictures, but there we are. There's a bunch of buckwheat, bindweed. This field is got a bit of a reputation, as you can obviously see right here. I mean, there is buckwheat all over the place. Well, we looked at that. Let's look at the one that causes people the most grief. Let's see if we can find some pigweed out here. And just like that, there it is. Good old Palmer amaranth. Not a lot, but there's definitely, other than the pigweeds, there's a lot other weed pressure that we're going to have to get controlled after the 30th there. So that pass consisted of both herbicide and insecticide to address both the insects and the weed pressure. On the 19th, it still says that we've got 6% weed pressure here. Well, let's take a little closer look and see kind of what we got. Okay, well, those weeds are largely terminated. Now, why the computer's catching them? You'll see there's a little bit of green there. So the computer thinks that they might still be alive. That buckwheat is toast. It's not going to come back. It's not going to pose a problem or anything like that. That buckwheat is done, finito, terminated. Do another one. Again, same thing. Most of it's a crispy critter, just a little bit of leaves on the edge that hasn't gotten the memo yet that has been terminated by herbicide. So not much in terms of unidentified broadleaves, less than 1% of pigweeds. So that's a good job. We have controlled our insects and our weeds. Overall, I'm a pretty happy camper with what we're seeing in terms of field health, and our next flight is going to be on August 1st. Now that we're done with that, let's go take a look at the West File Patch. Now the West File Patch has got a little bit more that we're wanting to take a look at. You'll notice that we've actually got a little bit of nutrient issues on the 30th that it's catching. A lot heavier disease pressure and insect pressure, but the weeds, for the most part, from that herbicide pass before the 8th, we have largely kept those weeds under control. So we're not going to have to do a secondary pass on the weeds this year. Let's check out the nutrients, though. On June 30th, for those eagle-eyed among you, it's saying we've got a bunch of sulfur deficiencies. Now, keep in mind, around June 30th, we had gotten a little bit of rain. Stuff was growing really, really quickly, and all of those nutrient deficiencies that we're seeing out there is sulfur. We look at that. All of our sulfur issues have largely remedied themselves, but we have one thing to take a look at here. And it's nitrogen. Kind of odd. Just one little spot there. Yeah, you can see it on the tips and on the side of the leaf right there. But just one plant out of that entire field with a little bit of nitrogen deficiency. Nothing that I'm going to worry about. Not in the least. For the most part, field's pretty clean. Seems to have recovered nicely from June to July. Let's take a look at the diseases, because on June 30th, if you just look at the 88% number and see how red that is, that looks like we're having a bad time. I mean, look at all those red circles out there. Man, oh man, it's just hocus leaf spot. Okay, we're not really worried about that. That's not that big of a deal. We all know it. So, but we've got a little downy mildew. We just got one out there. Let's see where it spotted that one bit of downy mildew. Oh, there it is. A little bit of crazy top going on right there. Look at those wigwags and all that striping. One whole plant out of that entire field. I'm not worried about that in the least. And we see here on the 19th, that's largely remedied itself. It's cleared up. We're looking better. We've just got one spot. And what is it? Holcus leaf spot. Again, nothing I'm going to worry about. But now we're looking at insects. So we went from only 2%. Now we're up to 70%. We're starting to get quite a bit of insect pressure. So on June 30th, it looks like we've got quite a bit of issues here that we need to take care of. We're going to look down, and a lot of chewing damage and insect other. Now that's interesting. Let's maybe take a look at that. Let's look at what the other damage is. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. We've got a little more jagged chewing damage, and then we got a little bug right there. I'm honestly surprised it didn't pick up what kind of bug that is. But that is one itty-bitty little bug on a leaf way down in from the top in the corn that this camera caught. And we're going to look again. Okay, that's chewing, a little ripping on the end there. Let's see what this is. Oh, now I can't tell if that's a little bug or just a little itty-bitty hole in the leaf there. But again, largely our problems seem to be chewing damage from grasshoppers. So we know that this field, it doesn't need a herbicide pass, but it does need an insecticide pass. That's a lot of insect pressure through that field. That is definitely a problem that needed addressed. We sprayed it with insecticide, and then just like that, our issues are largely taken care of. I mean, 6%, that's not bad at all. We've got a little bit of chewing damage. Yeah. I'm more worried about the drought than I am the chewing damage at this point. That's, yeah, a little bit of damage right there as well. Overall, though, we have addressed the problem. Now, the weeds, again, like I said, we have taken them from 7 to 2. We're back to 4%. You know, we'll take a look, kind of a quick look here and see what's in here. I don't think there's a whole lot to have to worry about. I'm going to guess probably bindweed or buckwheat or something like that. Yeah, that's bindweed. 0% of the field has, 34 acres have 0% pressure. 37 has 0 to 5%. Like, this is, the weeds are controlled. I'm not worried about that in the slightest. Now, I alluded to this earlier, but the thing I'm most worried about with this field isn't the weeds. It isn't the bugs. Right now, it is the drought. Let's take a look at some of these other pictures here. You'll see this corn is not in good shape. The drought damage is beyond bad to severe, crop threatening at this point. The bottom leaves are starting to fry. They're turning brown. Some of them are dropping off. We have a major problem.
Tom Cruise using witchcraft on me to get the fire off me!
We're just kind of randomly clicking around, but you don't have to click much to find that this corn crop is in severe danger.
Danger zone.
Now, this drought and lack of disease pressure actually feeds into whether or not I'm going to spray this with fungicide. Is it even worth putting that money in? Well, let's take a look at the forecast, and you'll see we've missed all of our rains. We've got almost no rain. There's a slight chance. Woo. We're probably going to miss that too. There's no rain in the forecast. It's going to be super hot. This corn it's out of gas. And we're in trouble. Is it worth putting fungicide on? I don't think the money is there to bother spraying this with fungicide. I think this is all going to get chopped for silage. And then when you look at this macro view, you can see it up from the sky even. This field's hurting. We need some rain. We needed it, 3 weeks ago.
This is fine. I'm okay.
Taranis is 100% serious when they say that every acre tells a story. I mean, just look at that guy right there. I mean, obviously, he's a handsome devil. He knows exactly what he's talking about. But I'm looking at, Flight 4, seeing issues still needing resolved, to Flight 5, issues being resolved. I'm able to look over almost every single plant on 160 acres of corn from the comfort of my house. I mean, am I even wearing pants right now?
Good luck.
You're able to make full-blown management decisions, have full control over what you're seeing out there right from your computer. And if you need help, if you have questions about the decision you're about to make, clue in your CVA guy, and they will look at this, look at it with you, look at the exact same pictures you are looking at, and help you make the best decision possible for caretaking your ground. Leaf level insights for data-driven solutions. Now, don't forget, we've still got one more flight left. That'll be flight number 6 on August 1st. I don't know exactly what we're going to be seeing on that because the drought right now is really starting to wreak havoc on everything. But whatever we see then, we're going to talk about it. Now, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell icon. I'm sure there's a couple other bells and whistles and things like that you got to click on as well. I hope to see you back next time. As always, thanks for stopping by.